people can believe what they want, you know. I can only explain my experiences. If there's science behind all these things that happen, you know, then come and tell me, you know. I like science and I like evidence usually, but the truth doesn't lie and I'm telling the truth.
I'm Josh Saunders, I'm a features writer at The Sun, and today we've been sent to Winchester to the Eclipse Inn after hearing reports of a bottle-popping poltergeist. Hello, I'm Josh, nice to meet you.
I'm Elliott. We've had this pub in the company since I've been with the company, so I was well aware of the history of this pub whenever I've come to visit it or I've covered somebody's holiday. Yeah, so I knew the history of the pub, and a lot of customers that come in, they'll say, oh, have you heard this, have you seen that? And so yeah, I was fully aware, but I wasn't sure to what extent. Speaking to members of staff that have been here for years, Eve's been here for 11 years, she said that there's never been so much activity going on at the pub. On average, say at least once a week, something strange will happen. The first instance that I can remember just being a bit freaked out, and the first thing that really happened to me was upstairs in the stock room, and I felt that, and I could hear things being moved around me in the room. And this was late at night and it was dark, you know, so I didn't actually switch the light, I was just grabbing things, I could hear things moving, it was really quite scary. And then the next day, it just had a real strange feeling here. It was really quite, the atmosphere was heavy, and there's one particular light downstairs which hasn't got a lampshade on it, because I like to be able to twizzle it or twiddle it off to create an atmosphere at night time to make it nice in the back with candles. And I knew that I'd switched this particular light on because I was closing down, I was getting everywhere tied in. I'd put it back on so then I could properly see where I was hoovering. And literally as I was walking past it, it went dink and like unscrewed itself off, and I'm like, kind of went like that and then put it back on. I went back on the CCTV to see if you could actually see it happen, but the camera just kind of missed it, but you see me just kind of knock it back on. My chef the other week came out of the kitchen, he said, Elliot, why have you opened all the fridges and freezers in the kitchen? I'm like, Stephen, I've not been in the kitchen, you know, it's a bit strange, and obviously I'm the manager, I'm not going to open all the fridges and freezers and let everything go off, you know, so he still doesn't believe me, I don't think, but that's that. I'll take you up. So I had a group of students in, foreign students, and they had ordered one round of Jager bombs, and then they ordered another round of Jager bombs. So I was lining them up a bar, and you'll see on the video, I lined the Jager up and I pour it in, and then as I bend down to pick up the actual Red Bull to put into the glass, you can see that the Jager bombs kind of just come flying off the shelf, and a couple of them land in the glass, and then some land on the floor, and I was absolutely drenched and sticky. And at this point, I'm like, Lady Lyle. This room is quite important because this lady here, Lady Lyle, she was the last lady to be beheaded in England. She was kept in this room the night before her execution. My understanding, it was during the Monmouth Rebellion. She had these people turned up at her manor, and she thought they were homeless, they needed help, so she took them in. And then the King's men came and they accused her of harbouring fugitives. Now, she didn't realise these people were criminals and on the run, and she was punished for that. It was during the time of Judge Jeffreys, who was quite a brutal judge, and he was fighting to have her burnt at the stake. Because she was so well loved, and there was a big uproar in society about what was happening to her. She was 68 years old, so King James II got involved because of her status in society, and because he'd heard about this big uproar and this case, what was going on, and ordered that instead of her actually being burnt at the stake, which would have been dreadful, she'd be beheaded instead, which I think I'd prefer actually. This window here is believed to be the window where she was actually taken out. They erected the scaffolding out here to take her straight out, and then obviously make a show of her and show an example of her, really. So yeah, she was beheaded, and then she was actually pardoned after her death, which was a shame. But because of the way she was treated and how unfair it was and how brutal it was, and what happened surrounding a case, it kind of changed the law of the land forever, particularly for women and how they were treated in the law system.
After an ordeal like that, you'd forgive Lady Lyle for feeling in need of a stiff drink.
What happened was, I was actually by myself, and it was really strange. I was stood here, and two of the bottle tops just popped themselves off the top and landed on the floor. One landed on my shoulder. I was like, that's a bit strange. And then it happened again to him, but this time they dropped at the back. And I was telling all the staff, and whether they believe me or not, I don't know, but then it happened to my co-manager, Terry. She stood here with another customer, and it happened to her, and I walked around, it just happened, and I was like, see, I'm not joking, like, it happened. So it was the silent pool one there, and then the sauce one, so it was the two middle ones there. So that one's actually quite tough to get off, to be fair.
It's a glass bottle top as well.
Yeah.
So it's...
This one, yeah, they're quite tough. You can try yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's a little harder than it looks.
Yeah, they are.
God, it's hard to put back in as well.
As far as the gin spectrum goes, are they your kind of more cheap ones, or are they more?
They're more of a premium, so I think she's got good taste.